going YouTube? This is Undying Art, bringing you episode 7, I believe, of the workshop. And today's episode is again very Marvel themed. In fact, it's all Marvel, so let's just call it a Marvel episode. And I guess we'll go left to right, start with Black Panther. So firstly, let's take a look at a knockoff Mafex Black Panther. When I got the legitimate figure of Black Panther, I decided to make this like my vibranium outfit. So he's built up all that kinetic energy and he's about to release it. So it's very simple. It's just like repainted all the parts that are supposed to be purple, and then the eyes weren't aligned because they're a knockoff, so I repainted the eyes silver. And then I think there's just a few silver paint touch-ups just to make it look more clean as it's sloppily painted on. And that's it really. And if you're wondering what a knockoff looks like with a legitimate figure, here is the legit Mafex Black Panther. So as you can see, he's lankier and that's it actually, just lankier than the original. The original is a lot more buff. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that. On to the next one. So next up we have a accessory pack that's on Etsy, RDJ Custom Creations, and it's basically just a bunch of 3D printed parts. So firstly, let's take a look at this crocodile. It's pretty good. Paint's not bad. I would like to do some paint touch-ups on the eyes and the gold, because you can see the gold spills onto the head a little bit. But I think he's using pens for the gold, so that explains why it runs. Looks pretty cool. It's a cool accessory to have for Loki. And then just a 3D printed Tesseract. Very simple this is. Just pure blue. But I kind of like the smokiness of it almost. Just looks pretty cool. And next up we have the pruning device. I don't know what they call it. It's very cool. I got 2 of these. One comes with like a pruning the timeline effect. I can't remember what the material's called, but in some photos it would look purple like this, as you can see. So it looks like the timeline's getting disintegrated, or as they call it, pruning. As you can see there. And I've got another one which is exactly the same painted. Focus, there we go. But it comes with the portal effect for when Sylvie is exacting her plan and teleporting all the pruning devices across the world. Well, timeline. And then as well as that, we also get a time collar, or I don't know what to call it, a magic collar, I don't really know, restraining collar, bolt, whatever you want to call it. It goes around his neck a little loose, which I'll show you in a second, but it's got nice detail. And then a President Loki badge. I'm not sure if I'll ever use this, but it looks cool. Just says Loki on it, and I'm about to drop this. Then second to last, well actually no, penultimate, is the frog. As you saw in the jar, he was trying to get the little piece of Mjolnir, so he obviously got it in this timeline. 2 daggers, which are really small and don't fit in Loki's hand, to be honest, so I think I'll get some better ones in the future that are thicker to actually hold in his hand, because they're really thin, so they barely fit in his hand. And then lastly, whoa, I was knocked over Loki, a little 3D printed Miss Minutes, which is very cool. Very nicely painted as well. Looks weird on the back, but on the front it looks pretty much spot on. Yeah, really like it. So that's all of them. And then the thing that I did to Loki, which was just a quick head swap. It's not 100% perfect because the hair doesn't line up, but I also like both head sculpts, so I kind of want the option to switch whenever I wanted to. So this is the Infinity War Loki head sculpt with the TV series hair. I just like how it looks, but you could always just decapitate him. That's not what I wanted to do. But you can always just remove the hair again and then put it back. Put the first Infinity War hair back on this head. So you could have another variant if you wanted to. Or obviously you could just put him back to his original state with the other head sculpt, which I cannot put on. Which, now that I peel it off, it doesn't sit as flush as it used to. I don't know, it's just something off about it. It doesn't scream Loki to me, but the other head does, so it's all personal preference. Oh no, one last thing before I move on. Got to show you what it looks like with a time collar. Or restraint, I don't know what to call it really. Put its head on. Again, it's a little loose, but for photography it works. If I was someone who does photography, which nowadays I'm very much not. But there it is with a time collar. Looks pretty good. So next up, let's take a look at a very quick custom. It's the Figma Amazing Spider-Man, but the knockoff with a custom head sculpt. I don't know who the custom head sculpt's by. I just got this with the official Figma figure. And then when I got the Mafex figure, I then just wanted to have free display options. So I've got the Mafex, which is just standard. And then I've got the official Figma with the head sculpt on, with the masked head sculpt. And I've got this with his, like, I don't know, look. Yeah, I don't really know what to call this. And the difference I did with this was I matte varnished the outfit just to make it look less pearlescent, like the official figure. Just to give it a bit of differentiation. Now realising I should have got the Figma out the shelf to show you the difference. But if you know the Figma figure, you'll know that I can knock my camera. You'll know that it looks a lot different. And this is, like I said, just a very quick custom. And now let's get on to the second last figure, Venom. So second to last, here we have my repaint of the Marvel Legends movie, Sony, don't know what else you want to call it, Tom Hardy Venom. So basically, when the Hot Toys version came out, I then decided to try and copy the white veins. Not copy exact, but just make it look more accurate, as the Marvel Legends figure had very thick veins. And then I realised when the Hot Toys one came out, that's inaccurate. As well as that, I repainted the eyes of the heads and the teeth of the heads. So let's get into it. So firstly, taking a look at the head, it's a lot of black washes on the eyes to make it look less white, because in the film it kind of looked like translucent, as if there was like a layer of clear on top of the eyes. So I tried to replicate that. It's really difficult to show up on camera, but there's like hues of blue, silver, grey, just to give it a look, just a more alien look. And as well as that, I gloss varnished the entire figure to make it look more oily. And then as you can see here on the veins, repainted those. Really difficult to say because, like I say, it's gloss varnish, so difficult to show up. And I heard on a few reviews that the veins on the Hot Toys aren't actually all white. Some of them have bits of silver and some of them have like a blue wash. So I tried to replicate that as well. And then obviously I repainted the teeth to look more realistic, I guess is the word. And then I repainted the tongue briefly and washed it with purples and reds to try and give it a gross look. And then I did the same on the back with the veins. And then on the arms, I just toned it down a bit because there were so many veins on the arms, which is inaccurate to both the arms. I'm really happy with how it turned out. And because it's not like any modification, it still remains all the articulation. And I'll just show you the other head quickly, which I feel like I've done a better job on this head than the other one. You can see more blue and like gloss and silver. And it's almost like a patchwork in the eye. I don't really know how to explain it, but I'm really happy with how this one turned out compared to the other one. But yeah, that's Venom. So now we move on to the Sorcerer Supreme. And last but not least, here we have Doctor Strange. This is a custom that you've probably seen if you watch my other reviews, when I reviewed the Doctor Strange Takara Tony accessory set. I showed off my custom Doctor Strange. So basically what I did was remove the cape and then try to make it look as if the cape is removable. It's not my best work, but there are magnets in where the ports used to be. As you can see there, I couldn't scrape off some of the paint, so that looks a bit shabby, but from afar I feel like you can't really tell. And I tried to sculpt the rest of the necklace to match so it looks seamless. And on the back of the neck I had to sculpt over the hole where the cape plugged in and tried to match the outfit. And then on the back there was a port for the cape as well. So now the cape attaches with magnets, as I said. So you just attach it like so. And then I still haven't found a good way of attaching the SHF cape because I'm waiting for the manipul, however you say it, cape to get here. So for now I just use a bit of blue tack for the SHF cape, which I know you're probably thinking it leaves horrible marks, and you're completely correct, it does. However, I can't think of another way of doing it, so let me just do that off camera because I can't actually see what I'm doing. And voila, with the magic of editing, here he is with the cape. And again, it just attaches with magnets at the front, and that's it. And then of course you're probably wondering, that head sculpt's new. And you're correct, it is. I got it in new today, and it's incredible. Like, you can tell Manipul Studios based off the Hot Toys sculpt, and it just makes this figure look 10 times better. Just absolutely insane. And I'll show you what it looks like compared to the original head, which by no means was terrible, but this is way better, and that's just facts. So there is the official head, and I repainted the hair slightly and the beard slightly, and then there's the Manipul one, and as you can tell, so much better. So I'm really happy about this. And that concludes the workshop. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode of the workshop. If you did, hit the like button. If you didn't, hit the dislike. Let me know in the comment section below, and I'll catch you tomorrow for a very special review. Peace. And then we have nothing, so I dropped it on the floor.